Welcome to Chris and Carlette Live, a podcast about life, love, and overcoming obstacles. Each week, we discuss the good, the bad, and the indifferent of life's interruptions. Now, here's your host, Chris and Carlette.
Keep believing, don't go stressing, keep it moving. God, we're resting, here to help you, here to bless you. With God on our side, CNC Life.
Yo, let's turn that off so we won't get an echo. Today is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to the Chris and Carlette live show, where we come to you every Monday evening at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. As well as if you're on Facebook, we want you to move over to YouTube so that we can view your comments. So how was your day today?
It was good. It was a Monday. Moving kind of slow. But we made it to 5.
Yes. Well, I want to thank everyone last week for celebrating a monumental holiday. March 16th was the holiday, and Thursday was my birthday.
Yes, it was.
Yes. And I am wearing one of my birthday gifts from my lovely wife, which is this Golden State Warriors shirt. And I feel so honored that you bought me a lot of GS gear, and as well as a jogging suit, because I think I'm in middle age.
Okay, so he's going through this midlife. I don't want to call it a crisis, but everything is either Adidas or Adidas.
No. I do some Nike, but Adidas and Under Armour. Because Steph Curry is
all about Steph Curry.
Steph Curry, baby. Steph. Yes, Steph Curry. I got probably about, 2 pairs of shoes? No, I think 3.
You got about 3.
3 pairs of Steph Curry shoes.
On your 4th.
I'm working on my 4th. He has these new shoes out called the Bang Bang shoes, and that's when he attributed that shoe to the announcer when he scored, I forgot how many back-to-back 3-pointers. Yeah, so he was bang, bang. So he called him Bang Bang shoe. Also, guys, we tagged XM Radio on this broadcast, and we will be doing that on all our marketing material. If anyone out there is listening or has contacts with XM Sirius Radio or Sirius XM Radio, specifically the Urban View channel, we would like to have our show placed on your rotation every Saturday, so that we can join in this fellowship. So if anyone, we're claiming it, we're speaking it into existence that we will be syndicated once a week every Saturday, and so forth. So that was good. All right, so you had a good weekend. We had a good weekend. So we went to.
Welcome to Chris and Carlette Live, a podcast about life, love, and overcoming obstacles. Each week, we discuss
that was a game. There's my lovely wife. We had standing seats. We bought the standing room only tickets, but of course we're sitting down there. Go figure, because this standing room only seats were.
Okay, I'm about to put this out here. I'm about to be very vulnerable right now. I'm getting rid of looking like this mom. I need a mommy makeover.
Okay. Anybody that does makeovers?
The hair is pretty and long, but I'm over it.
Yes, if anyone does makeovers, please.
I'm over it. I'm ready.
Well, what about that photo right there?
Welcome to Chris and Carlette Live, a podcast about life, love, and overcoming obstacles. Each week, we discuss the good, the bad, and the indifferent of life's interruptions. Now, here's your host, Chris and Carlette.
Keep believing, don't go stressing, keep it moving. God, we're resting here to help.
There we go. So today we are talking about why can't I buy this house? What lenders are looking for.
Yes. We're entering. You can buy a house any time of the year, but there's a season where the market is, tends to go up. People are buying houses. Why? Because you're about to go into the summertime. It's going to be hard to rent a U-Haul truck. Children are getting out of school. Okay. So that's time they can, they don't have to worry about getting kids to school and this, that, and the other. They can have more freedom with looking for a house. It's the summertime. It's warm. You're not dealing with cold weather. So it's starting about, I would say, May until like September. It's like that housing market, people buying, selling, So before we get into that, again, you can buy a house any time of the year. It doesn't matter. Okay. We purchased a house in the fall, winter time. I remember one time we did. And yes, we were moving in the cold. Yes. But matter of fact, that was when we purchased our first home. However, I'm a realtor. However, I want to educate people. Okay. I know people, I've met people being in this industry that I want to bring to you all to provide information, because home ownership is the beginning of wealth. It's the beginning of it. So, I wanted to bring somebody on who near and dear to my heart. I have known him for probably I think this will make 10 years.
Yes.
I met him in 2013.
When we first moved
we
down.
lived here.
Yeah.
He said 9? 9? Okay,
Yeah.
9 years.
Yeah. He's in the background
He's
waiting
in the
to come on.
background.
But right quick, I wanted to go over before we introduced him.
Okay.
I want to go over just briefly 7 biggest mistakes millennials make when buying their first home. Number 1, not being financially prepared is number 1. Number 2, not hiring an agent. That means they're trying to buy a house on their own without going through an agent. Number 3, making decisions based solely on price. So don't buy a house just based on the price, because you could have other issues with that. Number 4, not getting a mortgage pre-approval. So if you don't have a pre-approval, then you can't, and I'm pretty sure our guests will talk more about this, but if you can't get pre-approved, then what's the use of wasting your time and the agent's time going out to try to find and buy a house? Number 5, skipping home inspection. You always need to do a home inspection on every house unless you have
Even
cash,
if it's a new build.
or unless it's investor property. Number 6, focusing on how much you're able to borrow instead of how much you should. That's a good one. Focusing on how much you're able to borrow instead of how much you should borrow. That's a good one for our guests.
Because you can be house broke.
Yes. And number 7, disregarding the resale value. So there's one other, let's see here. And I put that one, let's see here. That is this one, right? Bam. But we want to nonetheless read our guest bio. His name is Brother, our elder, our bank manager, all that. He comes with different accolades and stuff. So his name is Hardy Abbott. I wonder, is he related to any the pharmaceutical Abbott? He should be rich.
Abbott Laboratory.
Abbott Laboratory. Yeah.
Oh, he gonna let you have it.
So, As a branch manager, he assisted in positioning the branch for success. This included hiring, training, coaching, and developing a high-engaged team. He manages direct reports, performance manages complex customer concerns and transactions. His role ensures effective scheduling, delegating essential tasks, and ensuring operational integrity. At the time, he may complete branch operational manager functions, which includes cash handling, managing an efficient teller line, lobby management, and daily creating positive and memorable customer experiences. That I truly believe he does. He previously served on the 2013 Atlanta President's Council and served on the 2020 Leadership Advisory Council. As a legacy Wachovia Wells Fargo Bank employee, he has served several positions. He has held the following roles: Associate Product Specialist, Teller, Senior Teller, Mortgage Sales Associate, Customer Sales and Service Rep, Personal Banker, Service Manager, and now Branch Manager. These various positions have exposed him to Richmond, Virginia, Atlanta, Georgia, East Point, GA, Douglasville, Lithia Springs, and Griffin and Stockbridge. Leadership philosophy is what he bases his leadership skills on. He leads a team by example by making and keeping commitments. He places great value in good character, consistency, communication, and compassion. John C. Maxwell says that make today count. If we make today count, we will achieve what we set our minds to. So I want to bring on none other than our friend, our co-laborer in the gospel, yes, and colleague, Mr. Elder. Let me make sure I got this right.
Last minute, the mail, something happens with the mail. Something happens with your debit card, it won't go through. Something happens and something came that your mortgage is going to be paid on said date. And generally, most lenders give you that 15-day grace period.
Right.
There is something behind the scenes where we kind of track whether you're making your payment according to your agreement, or if you're making your payment a little bit behind. You're not penalized. However, that is something. Taxes, they say that they've had all these losses, and their bottom line, they only made $25,000. So naturally, as a lender, yes, you said you made $100,000, but then your income, you're saying 25,000. So no, we're not going to be able to lend you money to buy this $300,000 home because you said you only made $25,000.
But then
So
There we go. Okay, we got it. We're back. Go ahead.
Oh, I am so sorry. So how long have they been on?
Probably just a few minutes. About a minute or so.
Okay.
You can go ahead. Just continue where you started from.
Okay. So back to entrepreneurs and bank statements. First you said, okay, file your taxes, you entrepreneur, self-employed, file your taxes and be integral with your taxes. Okay. We know you got 6 figures, but you're saying you don't want to give Uncle Sam your money and you're claiming all these losses. All right. So we're saying stop doing that. Okay. Because again, the topic is why you can't get the house. Oh,
right.
She said it's been a long while.
Oh, okay.
That we should start over. That's how long it's been. Okay. Well, Tony, let me recap this. Number one, so we're going back to why they can't buy houses. So he is giving instruction. Number one, pay your bills and pay them before time. If the due date is the 12th, pay before the 12th. Even though you're still on time, if you pay on the 12th, he's saying pay before. Another thing he gave the example of was with your current mortgage. If you agreed to have it paid on the 5th of every month, and even though you may have a 15-day grace period right after that, try not to pay in the grace period. Try to pay the date that you agreed upon on your contract, what you signed. So if it's the 5th, try to pay it, the 5th and not the 6th or the 12th or even the 15th. He said, try to stick, because they're watching if you're one that stays in that grace period, always paying your mortgage. He said, that's the worst bill you want to be late on. Here you are applying for a mortgage, but you have a history of being late with your current mortgage. Okay. Then the next thing he said, oh, I said it all. I said it all. Okay. Because one thing led to another. It did. All right. So I had brought up, you said for the self-employed to be integral with their taxes. Okay. I said there are some programs now that is allowing the self-employed, the entrepreneur, to buy a home based on bank statements. Let's talk about that.
So the thing that you run into is sometimes that predatory lending, where you sometimes could, entrepreneurs, a lot of times when they're in business, you can have a very good month, and then you might have a challenging month, and then you have a very good month, and then a very challenging month. So then, or you could have a season of good months, multiple good months, and then you run into the challenging moment. So then when you run into the challenging moment and you have not built up that reserve, then again, you've qualified for this home that now, because there has been a condition inside of the economy, you now can't afford to meet your mortgage requirement.
Wow. Okay, so in that you said building a reserve. Are they
Yes.
looking at how much is in your reserve?
We do take a look at that. So the main thing that I'll talk about is we have something that's called the 5 C's in the world of big banking. So one of the things that we look at, one of the 5 C's, is your credit history. So, and of course, your credit history is the record of how you've managed to pay your bills over time. Typically for us, and I can only speak for my company, we look at between 7 to 10 years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Can we mention your company?
You can. I work for Wells Fargo.
Okay, so Wells Fargo people, they're going back 7 to 10 years on your credit history.
And we're looking at what your open credit lines as well as your closed credit lines.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now is that 7 years, did the requirements or the look back or the criteria change after 2008?
There were, so after the great, was it called the Great Recession?
In 2008?
It was a housing, whatever. I don't know what they call it.
That was the housing bust.
So there were changes within our mortgage, within Wells Fargo home mortgage. Like Carlette said, we don't have a state income program anymore. So that's definitely one of the changes that I know without a shadow of a doubt. You just can't tell us, oh, I make $100,000 and we not verify that.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
So that's one thing.
So you trying to tell me some people was just taking your word for it and not
Well, back before we had the Great Recession, stated income, it was a lot of stated income people who were qualifying for stated income. They said that they make that particular amount. And granted, there were some things that were put in place, but it was not as strict as it is now.
Dang, we should have bought a house back in 08.
We did have a house in 08.
Yeah, no, not here though. But well, you know.
Oh, you talking about here?
Yeah, you wanted to move back to here, so never mind.
Wait, he said 08,
Oh,
not
08.
18.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's true. Wait, was that 08?
08, we
Yeah.
had our first house in Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So there definitely has been some changes in the programs that we offer as a result of everything that we went through between 8 and 2011, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Wow.
So definitely.
So okay, so the first C you said was credit history. What's the next C?
Credit history. The next C is capacity.
Mm.
So when we start talking about capacity, capacity is the indicator of the probability that you will consistently be able to make your payment.
Mm.
Wow. And how? Okay, I don't. Well, how is that determined?
And we're determining this. This is when you start talking to people about their debt to income ratio.
Gotcha.
Mm.
And what is that? Is that 30%?
35%.
35%.
And below.
Okay.
When you start getting into 36, 37, 38, 39, 40,
Mm-hmm.
and when you really get to 42, ooh, you're really pushing it.
Wow.
Mm.
And basically on a very simple level, when we're talking about debt to income ratio, typically, for easy math sake, you have $1,000. $500 is put to your rent. And then after that, you have lights, water, cable, cell phone, direct television. For easy math sake, you're spending $100. So $600. So for easy math sake, your debt to income ratio is really, really, really high because, of course, half of your money is already spent on rent. And then the other $100 is lights, water, cable, cell phone, internet, direct television.
Wow. That's true. So you got that's 60%? Is that 60%?
Almost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
So, and again, when you make it on a larger scale, then lenders, we start looking at, you're already overextended. So no, we're not going to extend you any extra money because you're already overextended.
Mm-hmm.
And see, it's to protect you and to protect the bank.
Correct.
Which is also why you got PMI, but that's another subject. You're not here to talk about PMI. That's next. That's the other person that's going to do that. But and PMI meaning the mortgage insurance. That's the bank covering themselves if something were to come up and you were to bail on the house. So
35% or less, you're good. When you start getting into 36% to 49%, that's an opportunity to improve. And if you're at 50%, you have limited funds to spend and save at that point.
And also the fact that stuff comes up in a house, whether it's new or pre-existing, stuff comes up. A house is built, but it's like it's a living, breathing organism because stuff happens. It shifts. Even if it's built in the best neighborhoods, they could have did something wrong. They could have cut a corner that nature said we're gonna catch up with that corner. So you need to have money to maintain the house. It's one thing to get it. Now you got to maintain it. Somebody throw a rock through the window and you don't know who did it. Guess what? You got to replace the window. And yes, you can file a claim to your insurance, but then guess what? Your insurance rate may go up.
Right.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
So if you all like this content, I'm pretty sure that everyone that is listening does. Please go out to YouTube and like, share, and subscribe. Okay.
All right. And again, we're pushing YouTube because eventually we're not going to be on Facebook. We're just going to use Facebook for marketing purposes, but we will solely be on YouTube. That's why we're pushing everybody to go over there. We have so many followers. Now I need y'all to follow us completely to YouTube. All right. So thank you for that. Now you said credit history. You said capacity. Hi, Tanisha. You said, what's the next C?
Collateral.
Collateral.
Yes, and collateral is a personal asset that you may own, such as a car, a savings account, or a home.
Okay.
But typically, when you're purchasing your home, you don't really see a lot of collateral when it comes to purchasing a home, unless you start moving into secondary and you start moving into investment properties then.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yes.
All
But
right.
if you're buying your first home, that's not really taken into an account, but the savings account aspect, yes.
Gotcha. All right.
All right. Give me the next C.
Then we start looking at capital.
Capital.
So lenders evaluate the capital when you're applying for your large credit accounts, like your mortgage, your home equities, and even your personal loans. So they take those into account. And capital represents the assets that you could potentially use to repay your loan if you lost your job or you experienced a financial setback.
Wow. So do they take in consideration your 401k and all that kind of stuff and
Things of that nature, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Now,
Yeah, I know when I bought this house, they went and looked at my 401k, all that. Then they had all these different questions. I got tired of them asking me all these questions.
He did. He started getting mad. I didn't know what was going on because I kept saying, "Well, here's my taxes. Here's my income." Oh, don't worry. It wasn't the taxes. It was my stubs. I didn't know he was doing about. He didn't add me to the mortgage.
I didn't want to. I wanted to buy this home that we're living in for my wife, and so I wanted to put it in my name. And
I love it.
Yeah,
but
then afterwards, Hardy, well, you need to add me to the title.
That's my sister.
Listen,
you need to put my name. I was like, whatever. And
then I made sure I was like, and make sure that gap is in there too. If something was to happen to you, that this house is paid off.
That part right there.
Listen, y'all better handle y'all business. Be sitting up here and lolly dot, and then something happen, and you like, okay, yeah. I mean, for real, because that's if something were to happen, that's the income gone,
Right.
You know.
And now this is my own personal. This is a help with Hardy moment.
Okay.
When I was a mortgage sales assistant, I always encourage people that you don't buy a house off of two incomes.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you just said, things happen. And if the primary breadwinner, again, is making the six figures, the 100,000, and the other significant other partner, wife, is making 50,000, and the $100,000 income is no longer there, it can definitely create a major hardship. So I always encourage individuals, buy a home off of one income. That's just a help with Hardy moment. Now everybody's grown and they can do what they want to do.
Right.
But,
Right.
And that's exactly another reason, because we had a home home back in Indianapolis, and we went through an unfortunate issue there. And so I'm like, rather than messing up both our credits, let just one person's credit be messed up if something was to happen.
You know what?
And then, I'm serious. Now if something happened, you can go out and get your own house. And what is this bug? Oh, and go out and get your own house, and we can live with you.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's smart. That is smart. I remember one of the elders back in the day, he was teaching that a lot of people don't, because they were living off of two incomes, and he was like, y'all need to shift, stop depending on your wife's income, stop depend or whoever. And then it was a little grumble. It was like, well, what if she makes more than him? Well, stop depending on her income. Y'all need to live off of one income. What would your life looks like? What does it look like? And he was like, the problem is, he said it's greed. You trying to get this big old house because it's like, well, if I add her income, we can get approved for more money and we can get a bigger house and we can get this, that, and the other. And he was like, okay. And so then what happens when she gets pregnant or she gets sick or you get sick and then that income is gone? Then what? Then now everybody got to pack up or you got to start doing all this special stuff. And it was wisdom that not everybody was ready to receive, because looking at of how much more I can get off of that, the two incomes, instead of using that second one as how you can save more, how you can pay more with cash versus credit, all that stuff. Go ahead, Hardy.
And to your point is, if your long-term goal is to get the larger home and you do have that second income that is disposable, put it in a savings account. And again, put down a larger down payment on the front end so it's not as stressful, or you don't have to worry about those particular things. So you can be proactive if you're looking at, maybe your 3 to 5 year plan and you do want the larger home.
Well, I'll take it a step further. We had a guest on 2 weeks ago talking about the universal life policy. I would say take that money, put it in that, because with that policy, it's post-tax. You can live off of it, not be penalized, and still have money for your retirement. It's not just a death benefit, it's a life benefit. So
Right.
I would even say invest it into that. And when it's time to buy that home, you can pull from that and not be penalized with a fee, tax, because again, this is post-tax investing.
Yeah. Thank you,
Right.
Nicolette Reynolds and Brittany Bradley, for following us on Facebook. Make sure you go out, though, to YouTube and follow us at the Chris and Carlette live show. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was one of these 7 biggest mistakes, Brother Hardy. I should say elder. Oh, I'm sorry. The last C.
Can you give us the last C? C number 5.
The last C is the conditions that we talked about early on.
Okay.
Conditions refer to a variety of factors that we may encounter. So conditions may include how you plan to use the proceeds from the loan or the credit account, or how your loan, your interest, and your term may be impacted by the market conditions or the state of the economy.
Yeah.
Other factors that may include your ability to repay. For example, a mortgage lender wants to know if the property you're buying is in a flood zone or if it's in a wildfire area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so good you said it, because with this market, these interest rates is causing people to get in smaller homes.
Absolutely.
That's starting to happen. Like for real. Like the 3-bedroom is becoming more popular now.
If you all wanted to reach out to our guest, you may find him at Wells Fargo. You can contact him on Facebook. And do you want to give out your branch info, or you want to just keep that, have them reach out to you?
So if you definitely want to receive some service, advice, and guidance, you can reach out to me by Facebook. I'm Hardy Abbott, HARDY ABBOTT, and then I can definitely give you my branch information, and we can get you in contact with whom you might need to speak to regarding your investing or your mortgage needs or your day-to-day banking needs. We have multiple specialists that can definitely assist you.
Great.
Natalia is her name. Okay.
Yes, Natalia, that's my mortgage consultant.
Yes. And wanted to make sure that Brother Hardy, Elder Hardy, is part of the his great uncle is Abbott Labs. So No. No, I'm just kidding. But one of the things that I wanted to talk to you, these 7, this kind of hit me, is focusing on how much you're able to borrow instead of how much you should borrow. So, for example, I'm making, let's say $100,000. Now I'm able to qualify for a house that's like $200,000. You know, I'm just throwing these numbers out there, no rhyme or reason. But I'm able to afford it. But should I still purchase a house that's under my means? Meaning that should I go for the house that's 170 or 150? What do you?
Me a help with Hardy moment. Just because you qualify for the amount does not mean that you have to use the entire amount. Because again, at the same time, it's all about your comfort level. And in addition to that, you're the only one that's going to be responsible for that mortgage payment each month. So, prime example, not my first house, my second house. My second home, I think I was approved for up to 150,000.
Mm-hmm.
But my second home, I only paid 89,000 for my second home.
Wow.
And that mortgage payment was only 681, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, I could have gone up, but in my mind, it was that dynamic of, okay, 681, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 15,000. No, it was 1,500 square feet. I'm like, I could work with that. 2-car garage, and it was just me by myself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and at that time when I purchased the home was only 5 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
What was
granted,
this, 2006?
that was 2011. Yep, 2011. And then Carlette, I met you guys in 2014. So,
You know, we never got an invite though, too. So I guess, you know, we could have brought a housewarming gift or something like that, you know.
He can't.
But I had been in there for a little while. But you know what, you guys, I still haven't had a housewarming for this one. So you guys will,
Oh,
I'm going to have a housewarming for this one.
all right.
You sure you want to invite us?
All right.
But you know what? I'm gonna say something on that. Hardy Abbott. I'm
Yes.
gonna say something about you.
What part?
You are a consistent friend.
I appreciate that.
You are consistent. I'm telling you. He came to our housewarming when we moved back here to Georgia. When he didn't know if we was coming back to a certain location or not, he still showed up. He didn't RSVP and then cancel at the last minute. Yeah, I'm gonna call that devil out. But the thing.
All right, we're talking about why can't
You're
I
consistent, Hardy.
buy
That's my point.
my house? So thank you, Angela. Real Talk. She's the Kingdom Overcomer. She subscribed to our channel. Thank you. So I want to also when a person goes out and say they already been pre-approved, they come back to you and they said, okay, I like to get this house. Do you all take a look at the house to make sure it's up to par and all this? How does that process work?
So what's going to happen is that they're going to have an appraisal completed.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that time, the appraisal will then tell us whether the asset that they're attempting to obtain, whether we as a lender are going to give you said amount. And the appraisal has to come back. And then once the appraisal comes back, it's either two things that are going to happen. Either we're going to say, yes, this house is worth that much, or either we're going to say, no, the home is not worth that much. And either the seller is going to have to come down on their price, or you're going to have to find some additional money to offset that cost.
Wow. Wow. If you all have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat, because we have our guest has a wealth of knowledge. He works for Wells Fargo. You can contact him on Facebook, and please reach out to him. He not only has mortgages, but he also deals with auto loans, personal loans, and so forth. So make sure you reach out to our dear friend, Hardy Abbott. Let's see here. Now, do you recommend getting the home inspection?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I would tell, Carlette said it earlier, even if it is a new construction, I definitely would recommend the home inspection so that you can protect your asset. And once you sign your name on the dotted line, it is yours. And you will be surprised on what a home inspector finds. My home inspector found a spring. Now, this is a brand new construction home, but my home inspector found a spring in the window that was not correct.
You know what? I don't think I had the best of home inspection because we weren't here when the guy came. I mean, he found a few little things, but I'm noticing some things about this house. But I feel like I was a little cheated.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. What else did you have on your notes?
The other thing that I wanted to say, also, when it comes to our business owners, and you are preparing to make those purchases utilizing your business, it's definitely important that they state their business's full annual earnings when they are doing that. So don't cheat yourself. Your full annual earning. Also, you want to ensure when businesses are applying for their credit products and or making acquisitions for property, that they want to ensure that their business name and address that they list on the application is what's represented on their articles of incorporation.
Wow. That's good info.
That is very good information. Okay, so what about the people?
Well, I got a question. Somebody just posted a question. Hold on,
Okay.
hold that thought.
Okay.
Tanisha Elder Wharton. I don't know if she goes
Elder
to the
T.
junior. Elder T. She says, are banks less likely to work with home buyers that are working with organizations that provide down payment and closing money? That's a very good question.
I encourage it. The only thing, a lot of times our counterparts, Carlette, our realtors.
Yes, realtors. That would be us.
The only thing with down payment assistance programs, a lot of times it goes through a second underwrite, which makes the process a little bit longer. So sometimes our realtors aren't happy with those down payment assistance programs.
Not this
But
one. Not this one. I'm all.
I wouldn't. I encourage it. If you can get some grants and you access to money and they're going to give it to you, go for it.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Very good question. Thank you, Elder T. As far as people who obtain these PPP loans.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh, that was a hot mess.
I mean, you know who you are. You made up a business just to get you a PPP loan.
And now you're going to jail.
Some people are going to do some federal time.
Yes. Yeah. I was listening to the...
It was tempting, though. It was tempting. I was trying to come up with a business, too. It was tempting.
You were?
I'm like, how can I take advantage?
No, we literally had people said, you can do this. And we was like, we don't have a staff. They was telling us to do stuff based off of Chris and Carlette Live. And it was like, no, we're not operating. Like, we ain't about to sit up here and formulate and make these forms and this, that, and the other. No.
Yeah.
And now I saw this young lady created a GoFundMe to help her pay it back.
Wow. We, yes, Elder T, she is an agent. She's almost had her license for about a year. And if you need an agent, she is willing and able to help you.
I am ready to help you.
And then you can go to Wells Fargo and talk to Dr. Elder Hardy Abbott about your mortgage.
Church folks, we talking professional. They
yes.
give you all these church titles.
Well, hey,
Mr. Hardy Abbott, the branch manager of Wells Fargo.
Yes, make sure you see him.
I tell the people that I pastor my branch for real. I have to pray for my community and for good success.
Yeah, that's it. That's how you move up. You gotta minister in the marketplace.
You do. Vocation and service is what I call it.
That's what it is.
We got another good question from Elder T. She says, how much time should a first-time home buyer allot when considering purchasing a new home?
That's good. Are you talking about, Elder T? Are you talking about finding to close? Like, when should you start looking and include financing in the program, or what kind of, is that a good question? Would that help you, Hardy?
Yes, because I was getting ready to ask her, because generally the pre-approval process, once you are pre-approved, you have, for us, 120 days to find a home before we have to go back and look at your credit and all of that again.
Explain.
Also, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Why people can't buy a house? Because they're in the pre-approval process.
They go out and buy a car. No.
Yeah, y'all gotta stop. You gotta make up your mind.
Oh my God, Chris, you a prophet, man.
You do not go out and buy jack when you're trying to get a house.
A car.
Don't buy anything. You barely want to buy some bubble gum.
Right.
Because I'm gonna tell you that when they look at your statements for like the past 2 months, they'll say, you like to eat out a lot. So you don't go grocery shopping? You don't cook?
Well, they can't look at our statements.
I mean, they'll say it, and they look at that stuff. Oh, so you eat. So I even tell my clients, okay, I need you to slow down eating out. I need you to slow down eating out.
She said looking, financing, and closing.
So from the lender's perspective, I encourage people to continually look. Never stop looking. Always continue to look. When you find something that you are definitely convinced that that's what you want to move on, and it's something reasonable, something attainable, then I would say go ahead and pull the trigger for your financing. And again, from the lender's perspective, you have 120 days.
Wow.
For us to get the process. Now, if you have a pretty clean file, and if your T's are crossed, your bank statements, pay stubs, W-2s, 2 years of taxes, you sign on your documentation, you get it back to the lender properly, you have an inspector already set up, and things of that nature, it could be an expeditious process. I won't say 30 days. There are still 45-day closings that are taking place now, but that's individuals that are very well organized and individuals that have everything together. But generally, you have 120 days from start to finish to get everything taken care of before you start incurring additional cost and things of that nature.
Now, can I say this from a realtor perspective? Now, you gave the financing perspective. Now, for me, I'm gonna take you credit first. Where I want to know your buying power, because I don't want you looking at a $300,000 home and you're only gonna get approved for $275,000 or $250,000.
Yeah.
Why get your hopes up high? Unless you get $50,000, you're gonna make up the difference in cash. But the bank is only gonna give you $250,000. But you want this $300,000. Okay, so are you going to make up the difference in cash?
I want to talk a little bit about when it comes to the intricacies when you sit down with the bank, or even when you're negotiating your terms and with the seller and so forth. So, couple things. The first thing is it wise to buy down your rate? Because if you buy down your rate, it may cost $5,000 to $10,000 just to buy down a point. So what are your record? I'm just using that as a rough. It's gonna cost you some money though, to buy down your rate. So is that then you have to look at the long term, like over the course of 30 years, is buying down the rate gonna? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. So when it comes to buying down the rate, I always encourage the consumer to consider how long they plan on staying in the house.
Mm.
Because if you're going to use this home like my previous, I knew that my last home, I knew that the last two homes were not my end all be all. So it wouldn't make sense to buy down the rate because I knew I was not going to. First of all, the interest rates at that time was reasonable. So it wouldn't make sense for me to buy it down because it was not going to be a long-term investment for me. So I stood to gain more money in my pocket over that 9-year time frame to upgrade. Now, in hindsight, when thinking about this, but still, I don't think that this is the last one either. I probably should have bought the rate down. I mean, because when I bought this one, I got a 2.84. But I probably should have made that investment and bought it down a little bit. Because then it was like, oh my God, because we probably won't ever see that again.
Yeah. And you know what we have I'm probably around that percentage too. And I'm like scared to buy another house.
Right.
Because you got such a good interest rate. By the time you go through, you find another house, you're going to be at like 5 or 6%. And paying a lot more than if you would have just stayed in your house. But, I don't know. She want to build Hardy, so she going to make me buy another house for her. So
I'm on my sister team, that one.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
I know, Chris.
Man, hold on. That's the end of the show. All right, we Hey guys, if you all have any connections with XM Radio, we're looking and we're speaking it into existence that we will be syndicated on the XM Radio, the urban channel specifically. So if you got any connections with Radio 1 or whatever they used to be called back in the day, make sure you reach out to us via Facebook or YouTube and contact us this way and pitch us to the XM Radio. So
I will say this. From a realtor perspective, I'm open to all things, but I have been suggesting to my buyers that to consider building in this market. And the reason why I say that is because if you're going to pay this interest rate, get what you want. It's okay to pre-existing is fine, but somebody else built that. So how about you build what you want since you're going to be paying this. Now, the only thing to that, not the only thing. The other thing to that is a lot of these builders have these incentives with financing that's better than the banks. I told you this the other day, Hardy. Like I have a builder, this is fixed rate was like 4.95 fixed. Now you have to get approved through their lender. Okay. And then on top of that, they're going to give you $20,000 towards whatever the closing costs, to buy down points, to get upgrades on the house. I mean and this is a lot of builders doing this.
So let me ask you this, Hardy: with that being said, can you negotiate on your rate, or is this something that's a standard because it's a bank? You can't really negotiate on the rate.
So generally, this is the way that it works. Of course, when we start talking about credit score and credit standards. Generally, 760 and above is going to be excellent. 700 to 759 is going to be good. 621 to 699 is going to be fair, and then 620 and below is poor. So with Carlette, if you ever come in contact with a Wells Fargo client, generally we have something that's called My FICO. So if they pull up their Wells Fargo app and they click on My FICO, they can kind of see where their credit score is. Mm-hmm. So generally, if you see someone in the 400, 500, 600 range, and I know I probably should tell they have some work to do. So don't waste your time and don't waste the lender's time because they're going to be frustrated.
Well, it's 9:00, and we appreciate you being on our show.
It's so
I
much
wanted
I
to
can say
know
about
if you had any final last words.
So my final last words is, why can't you buy the house? It's not so much that you can't buy, it's not that you cannot purchase the house, it's just when you can
Yes.
purchase the house,
Mhm.
when you can purchase it. And in order to buy the house, it's going to take some discipline, and it's going to take some work. It's going to take some work, but we can definitely put you in contact with some professionals that can definitely help you accomplish that goal. And we may have to jump some hurdles. We may have to cross some speed bumps. We may have to go through some toll booths and some stop signs, but we can get you to the destination.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
Thank
that
you.
was awesome.
And like she said, you are a dear friend, and
Yes, I thank
you
you.
know,
Being
you found
consistent.
you're consistent, unlike some other folks.
Stop it. So there
And
is-
you're a good brother,
He came
Charlie
to our
Brown.
home on the T. He came to he came to our housewarming and brought the biggest case of paper towels, Bounty paper towels. Okay, with thirst, the quicker
He
picker
knew.
upper, the thirst pockets, that good stuff. And when I tell you that case lasted me, I know at least a year.
Thank you.
You
sir.
got the deluxe case.
Yes.
Seriously. He came in there charging with
He
this,
looked
like,
at all our
I'm
kids
like,
and
this
was like, you gonna need this.
home warning. Home warming for real. Here's this whole, he came in, I didn't even see his face. I was like, Hardy. Yeah, and he came in, greetings and salutations.
Yes.
Well, we
Yeah.
thank you. We could have gone, but you gave the 5 C's. You told them what you have to do. If nothing else, you applying for a mortgage, be on time for your mortgage, and don't be staying in the grace period. Pay that on that due date or before. Thank you.
Now, one more question. If somebody's out of state, can they still contact you?
Yes.
Okay.
They can contact me too.
Yep.
Okay.
I can help anybody across the world.
She told y'all.
Absolutely. Would love to assist them.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be utilizing Wells Fargo and calling
Yeah.
the branch manager and Natalia.
Yes.
He's
Can I speak to Elder Hardy?
No.
Absolutely.
It's called a text message. I text him. I'll text Natalia. Listen, I got a client.
Hey,
And
she
we'll
the
be-
only man. She's the only woman. Or you're the only man that I will let her call. No, I'm just
He's a mess.
man, we appreciate you. Wait a minute. Wait, we got a question.
Oh,
That's a
good
good
question.
question. Hold
Yes.
on. Let me wait a minute. Where it didn't
Can I
pop
say
up
it?
yet.
I'm looking
Wait,
at
I gotta
it.
put it up on the screen.
Well,
Hold
why are
on.
you doing that? Can I say it?
Wait a minute. Let it come on through. Come on through. Okay, go ahead, Carlette. Go ahead.
Does paying a little extra on your monthly mortgage help you pay off the principal faster, or does it go to interest? Good question.
It definitely helps you. Because those of us that get paid every other week, you definitely can pay off your mortgage quicker doing that. The only thing that you have to ensure is that when you're making those extra payments, that you are calling your lender and that you're ensuring that they are applying it to your principal.
Yep,
Gotcha.
that's
That's
good.
the only thing. But if you continue to make your mortgage payment consistently every other week and splitting it up, you definitely can pay your mortgage. You can almost cut it in half.
Wow, that's good.
You can turn it into, what you're saying is you can turn a 30-year into a 15.
Correct.
Wow, powerful.
Wow.
Powerful.
Yes. Because majority of us, if you get paid bi-weekly, you generally get 4 extra paychecks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and of course, applying that extra to your mortgage, you could definitely benefit yourself in the long run.
So with my bank, the bank that we finance, they want allow you to do that unless you have an extra payment already in process. Like I would have to be ahead of the game in order for them to redo my withdrawals every month. That's crazy.
That makes sound like we need to call. No, we can't refinance.
I can't. No, I ain't
No, we not.
refunding.
No.
I got a 2 point something. No, I ain't.
I think you. I
Yeah,
think
so
it's
just
2.4.
sit that in the savings account to let that collect some. Wait a minute, totally different. But CD rates are going up. So if you can afford to put your money aside for 5 months, some credit unions 6 months, we have a 7 month and 11 months, and you can afford for income to be set to the side, definitely maximize in this environment, maximize on your CDs, and that'll help you for your down payment.
What's your CD rate? Do you know that right off the top?
I don't know what ours is off the top. WellsFargo.com.
Okay, that's it. That's
That's it.
All right, cool. Because do you get credit for people putting money, like you personally?
No, I don't personally get credit for it, but it does contribute to the brand success. So, granted, if you have a home mortgage need, come and see us. If you have some business account needs, come and see us.
Gotcha.
Commercial real estate, come and see us, and we'll get you in contact with those individuals that can assist you with obtaining that commercial property.
Yes, yes.
Okay, here's my question. I'm
Yes.
kind of diverting, but it's dealing with banking. Children, kids' savings accounts. Have you seen them go up or go down?
So the rates are pretty comparable for the average savings account now. They're not paying as much as the CDs.
No.
However,
I'm asking, have you noticed people doing them more or less for their children?
you know what? I think it's been about, we have some responsible parents that come in and they want to start now. So I haven't seen a major influx in it. It seems like it's pretty consistent.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But I would encourage us to start that. And also, if we have some young people that are listening to us today, my mother always encouraged me to get a mortgage versus paying rent. I purchased my first house at the age of 23. And my mom said, get the house now before you mess up your credit. So,
oh wow,
Oh, that's good.
That's good. That's good.
and because I did that at the age of 23, when I decided to move to Atlanta at the age of 27, number one, it set me up to purchase my next home. And then number two, what 27-year-old that you know that's walking around with almost $50,000 in their account?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I definitely encourage young people that are able, once they finish college, to go ahead, find something to invest in. Because it was only a 3-bedroom, 1-bath at the time, but still, it definitely set me up for greatness.
Yeah.
But you actually just opened up a can, because for all those parents that's so ready to kick their child out your house, you might be setting them up for failure. So if y'all can just stick it out, somebody stay on one side of the room, somebody stay in the basement, and y'all meet up when necessary and help them so they can have a better financial future and getting them into home ownership quicker, instead of them having some wonderful trendy apartment that's paying somebody else's mortgage. And the tax credit is with homeowners.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So if you can just live with them so they can save that money, get that down payment, get that discipline, have that credit on point, which if y'all was listening to us a couple of weeks ago, our credit specialist was on and she said, get that 13-year-old, if your credit card will allow it, start their credit at 13 years old as an authorized user on your good credit card, not your jacked up one, your good credit card as an authorized at age 13. So by the time they're 18, 20, 21, they have magnificent credit.
Yes.
Mama did that with me, because I don't know if you guys remember Hex. in Hess.
Yes.
I was on mom's credit card as I think it was 13 or 14, something like that. So again, by the time I got to college, it was no problem getting my first credit card. And again, when it came time to purchase the first home, it really was not a major issue because I had already had some established credit and I had a decent job. So definitely, young people, if you can purchase your house at a young age, when you're coming out of college, go for it. Or that last year of college, because then your student loan, you're not held accountable for your student loans because you're still in school.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get Chris. Chris is gonna have to get his own house because he ain't coming back to stay. No, I'm just playing. Well, all right.
We're gonna have to find nephew a little townhouse.
Right.
Yeah. Get him a townhouse, a condo.
He want to move to Miami, so you know what that's all about.
Listen. But the thing is, wherever he moves, he's going to own it. You really want that for them. Even if you're the first to do it, you're breaking the generational curse. You're breaking generational boundaries. Okay, well, then do the work. It's worth it. They will thank you later. They may not understand now, but they will thank you later. Okay? It's so much. You see how money is just, it's connected to so much. And the more you know, the more you can do better if you choose to. It is a discipline. And you setting yourself up and the generations after you for a better setup, a better lifestyle.
Yes. Well, we thank you, Brother Hardy, Elder Dr. Hardy Abbott.
Thank you
so much. We appreciate you. And we'll be calling you after the show.
Thank you, Pastor and co-pastor.
Uh-oh, there you go. There you go. I would say something, but I ain't going to say it.
Don't say it. Don't say it. It's right there on the tip of your tongue. Don't you say it. All right. Where's the tea? Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll call you as soon as we close out. We'll call you.
Sounds good.
All right,
thank you guys for having me.
All right. Thank you. That was some good information. I was very happy that we had him on the show. Just a wealth.
I called him like it was about 2 weeks ago. It was 2, and I said, I gotta have you on the show. This is March money. I said, I really want you for March. I said, which one you want, March, April? He said, March. I said, good. I said, I really want you for March. I said, I gotta get you in this conversation about money and why they can't buy the house. And he was like, well, I'll tell them what the lenders are looking for, so they're prepared.
Yes. So if you all make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube, please. Anybody that is on Facebook, go out to our YouTube channel. The next person that goes out to YouTube and subscribes right now will get a book. I don't know how I'm going to reach out to you, but you will get a book that we wrote last year about life's interruptions, about Carlette and I when she went through breast cancer. So if you go out and like and subscribe right now, I got to see you pop up. It is 9/14.
Facebook, YouTube.
We will mail you a book. I don't know how I'm gonna get it to you, but just go out and do it.
Well, they'll inbox you.
Yeah, inbox me on Facebook. That's right. That's right.
Messenger.
I gotta see it. It's around 9/14. But if anybody has any connections with XM Radio, we keep tagging XM Radio. We want to be syndicated live every Saturday on XM Radio to bring you information concerning
Life's
you.
Interruptions.
Yes.
Good, bad, and indifferent.
So thank you all. We wish you all a blessed rest of your week. And Carlette, you want to close us out, please?
Listen, like I tell you every week, pray, and pray some more. Seek the face of God and call upon him while he may be found and while he is near. Okay? Call on him. If you don't know what to pray for, turn to CNN. There's plenty for you to pray for. Pray for your family. Pray for your children. Listen, pray for your neighbor, the one that you don't like. Okay? Listen, because you will do better when you pray for your enemies, because guess what? The Lord tells us to do that too. All right? We love you. Take care. Be safe. Pray. Seek the face of God. See you next Monday.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us this week on Chris and Carlette Live. Make sure to visit our website, chrisandcarlette.com. If you're on Facebook, share this broadcast. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our show. You may also find us on Apple Podcast, where you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, If you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. Let us stay in contact with you by texting CNC Live to 474747. That's CNC Live to 474747.
CNC Live.